I have a Black & Decker drill bit sharpener here that I'm going to demonstrate using to keep a drill bit sharpened. This is a Model 790. This is an old one that I inherited from my father. Black & Decker, probably made in the 70s somewhere, and made in the US. So I took it apart partially here just to show you what's inside this and how it works. So the cover comes off, a couple screws. There's 4 Phillips in here. I took those out. And here's the wheel that does the work inside here. That's a 5/8 inch nut. And there's just a screw on the other side. Screw out. So at this point, there's a washer in there. And there's the cutting surface. As this whips around, your drill bit sits in here. It's going on, depending on the size, hole you choose. And then you have to, one face of the bit, there's 2 faces basically, cutting edges, and one will be sanded down, ground down properly, then you rotate it 180 degrees, and the other one will be sanded down. I wanted to point out one other adjustment that's on this drill bit sharpener. There's a relief adjustment with this knob right here, and basically affects the angle of the cutting surface. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this in here, but as I turn this relief, you'll see these little holders inside here move in and out on the bit, basically affecting somewhat the angle that the bit is sitting on the grinding stone. And that's an important consideration when you want to if you want to get this bit to sharpen effectively again, making sure that the relief angle is correct. Okay, before we get ready to do a bit here, I want to show you what relief is. And you can see it on this larger bit a little bit better. If you look at this angle on the cutting face here, as I'm holding this vertically, it should go slightly down like that, and as well on the other side. If the angle is too far down this way, then you would have to make an adjustment on here. It's too much relief. There's a little guide on here. This particular drill has a guide on it. The tool has a guide on it. So if it shows too much relief, you turn this way, and that should get it back where it should be. And too little would be the opposite direction, going down to the right, and then you would turn the wheel that way. But under most conditions, you just leave it in the middle, and it should get you what you want. Well, I have a drill bit here that I tried to use, and it wasn't effective, so we're going to sharpen it. First thing you do on here is find the correct hole. The next thing I do, especially on a small bit, I want to mark it. So I'm going to use a Sharpie here and mark one side, so that when I rotate this to do the opposite side, I do it properly, because it can be a little bit tricky. Okay, so I've got it where I want it, put it down in there. I turn it, just twist it to the right, and just hold it there, but do not apply pressure, rotational pressure on it, and just hold down the power button, and then make a count. I'll do like 3 seconds, as this is a small bit. Don't pull it out till it stops turning. Now here's where we want to rotate it. When we do that, this mark should be on the opposite side. And once again, what I like to do every time after I do it is put it under some magnification, have a good look at it, see if it's coming out even, that one face isn't bigger than the other. And here also with a small bit, you can see the relief angle. And I'm finding this angle right here, actually, as I look at it, is just a little bit off to the right. So we're going to adjust the relief. And the relief adjustment, again, is right here. It's right in the middle. So I have too little relief, going by their diagram. So too little relief, we want to turn it to the right. So do it just a few degrees to the right. Then run it through this same process again. Once again, going by my mark. I've got that facing me now. Shut it off, let it stop, pull the bit out, rotate it 180 so you don't see your mark. Okay, we have the relief on this bit right where we want it. even on both sides. So it should do some good cutting now. Drill bit sharpener, just a good way to save money on bits. I mean, if you do much of this sort of thing, especially with metal, metal's going to dull them quite rapidly. If you use wood more, it's not quite as necessary. But I use this a number of times and I've saved money on bits over the years. Okay, so we've had some real difficulty getting these fasteners out. So what I'm going to do next is try to drill them out from here out of my workbench. So first order of business, center punch. I'm finding this bit to be kind of dull, so I'm going to sharpen it up. I'll show you what I use. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is sharpen both faces of this bit. And it's important to use, what I like to do is use a magnifier on it. Probably not going to be able to pick this up through the camera lens. But check it as you do it to make sure you're staying even and that the faces are getting sharpened properly. So first of all, put it in there, mark one side of it. You can see I got a Sharpie marker on here, Sharpie black line. So you do it the same on both sides. Don't pull it out till it stops running. Put it back in, hold it lightly. That's a vintage. By vintage I made in the USA about 30 years ago. Okay, let's try this again with our newly sharpened bit. I've also recenter punched this because I was off center a little bit. As you can see, now that we have it sharpened, we're making some headway into this piece. So thanks for watching this little demonstration of a drill bit sharpener. I've got this vintage one here. Granted, you can't get these anymore. It just happens to be long-lasting, still working after all these years. But if I was going to buy a new one, I would get a Drill Doctor. I've heard very good things about them. And I think in general, the drill bit sharpener is just a smart buy. You're going to be able to save money and time running to the store and get bits, especially if you do much work with metal. So thanks for watching this video.